Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the Firm. I'm here with Lance complaining about building officials, Cayko. Just kidding. He's actually doing really, really well. Even though they try their hardest. They try their hardest.
To screw up jobs that are going way too well.
Yeah.
That is honestly the conclusion. My conclusion is I was telling a friend last night. It was just going too well. I knew something was going to fall out here, and then it fell out a little bit. It's all good. I would rather take this like a couple day fallout than like weeks. Good enough. Maybe if this was the worst, no problem.
My name is Al. Building officials are going to love me, Gore.
Yes.
Because I've already had problems on the dig project.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
exactly. The rest is smooth. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Imagine thinking that everything's going to go perfect. It ain't.
Yep. We're going to talk about how to grow a business today. It's going to be awesome. Why you need friends who are crushing it and give you an update on the economy, which directly affects your business. But before we do that, what will affect your business is literally who you are, what you do, and how you grow your people. Go to buildabetterco.com and see the 5 shifts to increasing your profit, which will help you run a smoother, more relaxed, more calm, more profitable business. Buildabetterco.com.
Can't find the product data you're looking for? You might be using the wrong search engine. Broad searches result in consumer products, out-of-date information, and websites that hide or don't have the information you're looking for. If you need specifications, CAD or BIM, ARCAT.com is your search engine. Find and download the up-to-date data you need fast. ARCAT.com is free and requires no registration, so try ARCAT today. That's ARCAT.com. Al, back to you.
I want to run basically my thought experiment by you and then have you react to it, okay?
Yeah.
I think that it's about a third of architecture firms stay at a sole proprietor. Then there's probably, I don't know how the other 2/3 break out, whether, another third is medium, meaning 2 to, let's say, 30, and then the rest of the people are in a large firm.
The average firm, according to the HOK book, is around 8 people.
There we go.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
And you don't have to grow into HOK, 100-person firm or anything like that.
Seems like a lot of work.
But I want to get at the root of why you might be staying at the level that you're staying at. If you're a 12-person firm, why are you staying at a 12-person firm if you want to grow? Some people might want to. What's that beer company up north who said we just want to stay at a medium beer company? You know the one in Fort Collins?
I was just in New Belgium.
Yep. They're like, we like this size. So that's all good. But I think it's because you get good at solving the problems at the level that you're at, and you don't know that you need to solve a different problem to grow, right? So to become a sole proprietor from someone working at a firm, you need to have some skills, and some of them are just a tolerance for risk. A tolerance for risk, you can't overanalyze something, and you have to be willing to jump, and you have to be okay with some insecurity, right? And some people aren't, and that is okay. Like, all these, what's crazy about, I think that sometimes there's this perception that you need to start your own architecture firm to be fulfilled. I don't think that's true. A lot of the great big architecture firms are great because they know how to get talent, acquire talent, and keep talent, meaning that you are talented at your large firm. I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't realize is that they know how to keep talent. I don't know what people think. So
yeah.
That's the first step, is that you need to have this tolerance for insecurity, right?
Yeah, the unknown.
And then you need to be also okay with, I'm going to go from wearing, let's just say, 1 or 2 hats to 40 different hats. Now, where a lot of people get stuck is going from one person to basically more than one person. Once you are just one person, you're solving, hey, how do I get work? How do I execute work?
You're solving all the problems.
Yep.
If you're one person, you're solving all the problems.
Yep. Now, Lance, what do you think? What's the barrier from going to 1 to 2? What's the next problem you have to solve?
How to delegate the workload that you have, right? And I just want to drill down on that 1 second too. So the title of this episode is How to Grow Managers, because that's exactly where we're at in our growth period right now. This is year 14 of F9, and we are putting people in positions where like you have 2 dedicated people underneath you, and then we're forming a triangle. And Al and I are the tippy top of the triangle because we're the sales leads. Then there's a project manager, and then there's a production assistant, essentially. So it's like, I'm kind of to the conclusion now that like I think entry-level folks maybe shouldn't be doing design work. Like it took me an organic, like growing here organically and having my opinions sort of just proven wrong about that. Because I think it's like, okay, the project manager should be, I think, and the project architect should be doing the initial design work maybe 50% of the way through, right? Projects were 75% of the way through. Like most of the design work. And here's something strange, right? Is I know there's a certain staff member that has said openly, like if you get a model from Al and Lance, this is what you're going to expect. And what he meant by that was
He included me on this. I thought this was just a dig at you.
It's actually not just me. Yeah. This is strange. This is going to be counterintuitive. I want your reaction to this, right? And so like this is by the way, this is just forming in my brain in the last couple of weeks, just so you know.
Yep.
What I'm about to say.
Fresh thought.
And it's I'm not suggesting do sloppy work on purpose, but I think it's okay to loosen up a little bit once you get to this triangle stage and you're in the how do I grow managers? Because there's something about just like, what if if you have limited time as a project architect, project manager, CEO, somebody on the upper levels of whatever little firm you're running, like us, or small to medium, you have such little time. Like, it's probably okay if you just begin, like, let's say you're doing space planning on like a house or a tenant finish or something like that, and you got the sale, and then there's not enough time for you need to get something back out to the client within a week, right? So you're like, okay, I'm crunched for time. I think it's probably okay to whip together a floor plan that is not perfectly detailed, that is not perfectly dimensioned, that's maybe omitting a little bit of information, because it's like, I only had an hour to do that.
Well,
I only had 2 hours to do that. And then for you, the project architect or manager, to go, and I realize it's a little messy, but guess what, production assistant? Like this, I need you because I have limited time. Does that sound like, I think that's the proper way to start delegating the work out, is you have to be comfortable with like leaving a little bit of a mess. I don't have any other way to express myself than what I just said.
So some people might not understand what you're saying, and here's why.
Yeah, reformulate it for me if you need to.
Here's why.
It's totally cool.
So, Lance, what you should know as a leader is that the failures come in communications and expectations. That's when you're leading someone else in your firm. If you don't communicate and set expectations, things are going to mess up. If you don't do that with a client, it's going to mess up. If you don't do that with a movie review, it's going to mess up.
Yeah.
Lance just said, Fall Guy is a stupid movie, but it's enjoyable. You should watch it. If he would have just said it's an awesome movie, I would have watched it and be like, this is stupid as hell. And he's like, yeah, of course it's stupid. No, this weekend.
Okay.
But if I go in, I'm like, this is going to be stupid.
Yeah, I want to set Al up for success with the Gosling films. Come on.
Yep. So other firms operate different than us. We are Revit through and through. Some people, it blows their mind. They're like, how do you even do that? And we're like,
and still do good design that's not a Revit box.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Lance,
we got to be really good at Revit first of all, but keep going.
Well, what we need to communicate to our staff once we hand over, let's say that first initial pass, let's say you do this. Hey, this is a sketch.
Thank you. It's a digital sketch. That's what I was trying to say.
Exactly.
So it's okay to
You're
produce.
welcome.
It's okay to produce digital sketches.
Yes.
And I think this is literally, we're going to fold it into. We started this bi-weekly. It's called F9 Leadership, and it's just a meeting that we have with me and Al have with our project managers, and we all it's very kumbaya in the sense of it's like, express yourself. Like, it can't just be me and Al with our ideas. We need to hear from the other project managers and people that are, delegating work to people and like, what's their, because I think they're going to remind us of stuff that we forget about, and we're going to remind them about stuff that we forgot about as we are working together in sort of this triangle way. But digital sketch, yeah, I'm with you. And I'm going to write that down for the meeting. Like,
Yes.
Treat it like a digital sketch. I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, put it under my tab. Give me credit.
Yes. He's
Delegating. That's how you delegate. Right there.
He's honestly had some pretty good ideas lately.
Yeah,
like
just a couple.
pretty good ideas lately, I got to say.
Here
Here we go. Al Gore, putting it down right now.
So I'll kind of wrap up.
To produce digital sketches. Go ahead.
I will kind of wrap up this. And here's the difference is that once you hire that first person, second person, third person, fourth person, you might like you are training them, right? You are training them how to do drawings your way, how to basically get into your system, how to model, how a building gets put together. And then if you make the assumptions, since you train them, they will be able to train the next person. That is wrong. That is wrong. What you now need to do, and what Lance alluded to, is train them how to be managers. And that's why we have our Wednesday meeting with them, and that's what we are talking about. We are training them how to be managers because they haven't, even though they've done the work before, it doesn't mean that they can lead that way. And there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
And that's the linchpin of what you weren't solving, what we weren't solving, that you need to solve to keep growing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for that one. Okay. Economic news.
What do we got, Al? Is it good? Are we winning?
Well, can I tell you, every morning I got a little.
Is
I don't-
Biden the greatest president of all time?
I got all my stock stuff and like pops up automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going up, and then all of a sudden at like, I can't remember, probably around 7 a.m., like it went straight down. So every time something goes straight down, I go to Yahoo News because I'm like, oh, something happened, right?
Yeah.
And what happened is the U.S. economy added more jobs than expected in May as unemployment rate ticks higher. So why it shot down is once the U.S. economy adds more jobs, the stock market goes, well, they're not going to lower rates anytime soon because the economy is still going, quote unquote,
Yeah,
well.
I saw a contradictory article to this, but keep going.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
You're right, but yeah.
Yep. So then stock market went down. As you can see right here, go down.
Yeah. This was like today.
This was today.
Wow.
And the contradictory to this article is the underlying point that they don't even mention here is a lot of these job ads are secondary jobs. So it'd be like you're working at an
A
engineering
second job
firm.
to make it eat or to make ends meet. Sorry. That's what
Yeah.
I
So
said.
now you're
Okay.
doing Uber, right?
All right.
Now you're doing something else, right? So that's kind of the rub. And the rub is also GDP is going down, purchasing power is going down, but things are still cost a lot. So people are still spending a lot of money. People are borrowing more and getting less for it. So depending on which political side you are and how you want to spin it, you can say, no, people are spending a lot of money. People are making a lot of money. Yeah, but they're getting less for it and they're working harder for it. And that's why they're feeling the struggle, right? So it's like, hey, milk sales are up, right? Yeah, in dollar amount, but not in volume amount. In volume amount, it's harder to pay for that milk and you're getting less milk, but you're paying more for the milk.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say milk sales are up. Hey, look, milk sales are up. Yeah, but the price is up too.
Yeah.
So anyways, the employment though rate rose to 4% from 3.9, and I think that's just a factor of how many people are coming back into the sector because
The full-time sector.
the full-time sector,
Yeah,
right?
interesting. It's mixed. It's a lot of mixed signals. It's been choppy. Been choppy since about this time last year. It's going to continue for the next 6 months. That's the overall prediction I have. And then eventually we're going to see rates loosen. They have to. God bless you, Fed. You actually threaded the needle. Like, I just still cannot believe it.
Ooh.
I am so shocked that they threaded the needle and did not crash everything.
Oh, I'm still waiting for it.
All right.
I changed
Did
my
you remember
opinion.
that chart upstairs? Have you looked at that in a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
Isn't there like a significant something that happens like this month according to your little chart? You should go look at it again after we're done.
the one right by
Gresh's face, yeah.
Yep. No. I mean, we'll go look at it. I still think that the Fed might have to wait till something breaks, because if they are the adult, why let the government keep spending and keep running up inflation when your job is to keep inflation down and keep employment up? It's kind of a good check and balance. The only problem is that the other part, the government, and don't think that either party is working for you. All they're doing is giving candy to their base. I told you this analogy. Did I tell you the kids analogy? Okay.
Do it again.
Okay.
Please.
So imagine that politicians are running and they get votes from kids to run the school, right? Okay. And I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
One likes space, one likes dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine one side is like, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give all this money and we're going to make spaceships. We're going to make spaceships. And if you vote for me, I'm also, what is Atlas like? I'm going to give you Reese's Pieces.
Nice.
Yep. He'd be like, hey, this is great. I want this person. I'm going to vote for this person. Another person who's running against them says, hey, we need more geology. We need to more dig up rocks. We're going to make the backyard of the school into like a dig center, and I'm going to give you a sucker, right, if you vote for me. What you just did was give kids candy, which is not good for them, and then pitted them against each other for you to get elected. Like, that is what is happening. Each side gives their side candy, and candy isn't the solution. I don't know how to say that more clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure. Huh. Well, I mean, what do you do? You just keep doing the fundamental stuff. It is what it is.
Yep.
Hopefully you're diversifying. That's the biggest thing. Diversity is your strength when you're going after multiple segments in the industry, whatever industry it is, to get that work. Like, you got to do it. You got to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Man, just over and over again. What a theme that's happening in our lives.
Yep.
Who are your friends? Who do we have that's crushing it?
Oh, this is just a fun story.
Oh, okay.
This is just a fun story. The segment is called Why You Need Friends Who Are Crushing It.
Yeah.
So I have a garage workout space now, right? And I was doing my workout. I was doing leg day, and my neighbor comes home.
Nice.
And he goes, yeah. He's like, I just did leg day. And I was going to wrap up and basically be done with my workout.
Sure.
He's like, on the leg press machine, he goes, I was leg pressing over 1,000 pounds. It's like, holy cow. And then he goes, on squat, I got up to like 305. And he told me all the sets. Like, he did 135, 225, 305. And I think he ended at 305 at like 4 times or something like that. And I immediately went back to my stair stepper, put on my weighted vest.
Wow.
And I was like, this is why you need friends who are crushing it, to show you how much you are not doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so, like, this is an old adage, right, where they say you are the sum of some of who you surround yourself with, right? I think that's kind of the point of this, right? Like, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with people who talk about visions and ideas, not other people. Love yourself enough to surround yourself with people that respect you. The company you keep is a reflection about how you feel about yourself. The key to happiness: unfollow people in real life. Show me your best friends, and I'll show you your future. It's just a little excerpt from an article. But yeah, that's where it's at. It's like, you gotta. It's sort of like it's like, why, the beginning segment. Why aren't you growing? Like, what gets a stagnant part? You need to. It's sort of the yin and the yang of the situation. Like, you need to put yourself in a position of growth, which means this. I was going to add this, but we kind of shuffled over the next segment. Is if you're growing your business organically, then the way it works is you're biting off more than you can chew. You are still able to, let's say it's a hamburger. Let's say you order a giant hamburger. It's a Five Guys hamburger.
There we go.
So you clearly are not going to eat this in like 2 bites, like you could possibly with like a McDouble from McDonald's, which is seriously, So all you're doing with the Five Guys is like, you're just sinking your teeth into it a little bit. It's way more than you can chew. It's going to take you a while to chew through it. But you have to do that, but at least you're holding on to the hamburger while you're hopefully able to bring in somebody to help you eat the hamburger, and then the delegation and all of that stuff happens, right? The same thing goes with your friends and or people you're surrounding yourself with is like that's why I think Al's always done a good job about asking people when they interview with us or their employees or whatever, where do you see yourself in 1 year, 5 year, 10 year? That kind of question is very important because then those employees, if you're growing organically, are going to help you push. Like they're going to set goals up that you didn't even think about. Like, how do I help this person meet this goal that they want to meet in 5 years? They want to do X, Y, and Z, right? That sort of thing. Al and I just sort of have this, I don't know, fire that's always been there in terms of like what we want to do. He'll come up with ideas. Sometimes they're bad about growth. Sometimes I will do it too. Sometimes we try it and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, right? Like we're supposed to, right now we should have been doing our second development, but not yet. Like couple more years. I think I'm ready in a couple more years, honestly. I haven't even told you about that yet.
Ooh.
So anyway,
Interested for the idea.
Yeah, that's all we got for you. Short and sweet on this Friday. Happy second week of White Boy Summer. Enjoy yourself. If you like this episode, you're listening to it on YouTube. Leave us a positive comment. Like, subscribe if you're on the iTunes. Please leave us a 5-star review. We'll see you next week.